Hello and welcome back to Care and Thrive with Dr. Lana. Hello, family caregivers and friends. It's amazing to see you again in this already second week of January. Wow, we have a lot to discuss today. It's a big topic, and to break it down, it's going to take a little bit of time, but leave in the comments below. We will have a nice chat. We're talking about back pain and family caregiving today. Whew, big topic, huh? If you're in pain, you're going to want to slide a seat in and join me on this discussion. So, if we haven't met before, I am the Lana, specialist gerontologist with an absolute passion for family caregivers and not only in the role of caregiving, but in self care. This is a channel all about you, family caregivers, and how you take care of yourself first. So, all the aspects of family caregiving, all the stressors, all the different things that you have to go through on a daily basis, here's a channel to take care of yourself. Your oxygen mask on first, you first. Back pain and family caregiving. Well, where do we start? Where do we start? Are you in pain right now? Why is back pain such a common thread for caregivers and especially for family caregivers? Especially if the person you're taking care of is frail, meaning that they need assistance with most of their activities, as in with walking, with going to the bathroom, with sitting, with lying down, just what we call toileting. So, dressing, getting dressed, bathing, that sort of thing. But, and also, if, especially if you're the only family caregiver, you're the only person there. It also happens if the person has dementia or has early Alzheimer's and they're not remembering how to dress and they're not remembering what to do. And you have to basically assist them. Back pain is a very common cause of most common pains or complaints. Let's say complaints, concerns of family caregivers. And I'm just going to read some of the research study from what that was done in Japan. It's from the National Library of Medicine. And it actually says, and it'll be in the link below. Low back pain is a common problem in caregivers. And there was a study that was done, yes, in Japan, but I mean, granted, they've got quite a few older persons. So if you're going to take information about what happens for family caregivers, Japan is a really good place to go to see what happens there, because they kind of are one of the countries that sets the standard for how older persons are viewed and also cared for. And family caregiving is huge there. So in this study, talking about caregivers and what complaints they have and so on, of 35, 22% of the participants almost always experience low back pain. And the severity will be different. Why? What does it involve? Why is it such a big deal? Think of it. You have most family caregivers come with a blank slate. You're thrust into your role as a family caregiver. So you're told, okay, here's the person. They need help in getting out of the chair. They need help to bathe. They're gonna need help. Oh, by the way, sometimes they may just get feel really weak and tired, as happens with many older persons, and they'll just put their entire weight on you. So look out for that, huh? Because you got to be really sturdy. That's not is that instructions, but very often family caregiving is just that. It's kind of like you're thrown into it and you have no clue what to do, but you got to do the right job, and you have to make sure that you are not injured in the process. So what happens all most of the time? You are injured in the process, right? Because you're gonna be bending, you're gonna be lifting, you're gonna be pulling. Person may resist you, not intentionally, but simply because they just feel weak and they are going to place their weight on you and you have to deal with it. And you don't want them to get injured or fall or break a limb, that's not even in the question. So you're just gonna brace yourself if they suddenly lose their grip. So your back is gonna take all of that strain. It's gonna come entire spine, but generally the lower back takes the brunt of it. And many family caregivers will be older persons themselves, or even middle aged, but it doesn't even matter. However old you are, having someone suddenly drop their entire weight on you is going to take a toll, and you have to do it every day, and you have no instructions. So there's very little training that happens that is done for family caregivers. Training in terms of how to take care of this of your relative, spouse, whoever it may be. That training is done for medical personnel, and sometimes not unless you're really in the field, it may not be, but at least it's done for medical personnel. But for family caregivers, it's not traditionally done. So here's what happens: those involving persons who have to reposition the older person, those who have to take them to and from the bathroom. If there's medication on board that may have a side effect of drowsiness, person may be drowsy, you don't want them to eat and fall asleep just after they've eaten. So you have to prop them up. You have to make sure that they're good in the bed and they're good in the chair, they're settled. All of that while, and you don't even think about it. And you just pull them. And or you may have to pull with resistance to be, trust me, it is not easy to hold on to an older person who, as I said, is not deliberately but instinctively resisting being pulled or held even to move from one spot to another because they feel unsafe in moving. To let's be fair, or they feel afraid of moving, of falling. That comes with older age. But we are here to take care of you. So how do you take care of you, knowing that this is a big deal? This is a big deal for family caregivers. Well, prevention is always better than cure, right? But let's say we can't. Let's say you haven't. Let's hope that some of you in this room do not yet have back pain, but you are taking care of someone who's older. So, how do you prevent yourself from falling into that trap of being someone who has chronic lower back pain? Because it is going to cost you, especially if you have to go to work, it's going to cost you in terms of your quality of life. Who wants to be in pain all the time? Every time you move around, every time you want to you sit at your desk, you're doing an activity, you want to exercise. As a caregiver, it takes a toll out of you to find space and time for yourself. How are you going to do that if you're in chronic pain all the time? When is it your turn? When do you get to take care of yourself? All right, so prevention. So let's talk 3 ways we can prevent, and then 3 ways that if you're already in back pain, how you can manage your back pain. And remember, any major illness or discomfort or increasing in a problem that you're having, please discuss with your medical doctor and seek other therapy as necessary. So don't just take my word for it. These are just guidelines for you to self-care and for you to know where to go and give you a bit of hints if you do need a little more attention. Okay, so we preventing. So prevention, 3 ways you can prevent lower back pain. First would be posture, practice, and positioning. So 3 P's: posture, practice, positioning. What do I mean by that? So your posture when you're sitting at your desk. Make sure that the chair at your desk is stable. Make sure the chair at your desk at work or at home, your main chair, your favorite chair, is actually good for you. So it's not too soft, it's not too hard, it doesn't poke or prod anywhere on you. You don't have to slouch and have that space between your lower back and the chair, which is going to put a tug on your back muscles. So that when you have to challenge your muscles, let's say they're not going to respond, or they're going to spasm. So ensure that your chair, wherever you're sitting, your seating position, your posture and positioning, you could say, in whatever seating apparatus you have, or lying. Make sure your bed is not too soft, not too hard. I don't think they're gonna copyright if I say go. That little girl with the three bears, remember? One bed was too soft, one bed was too hard, one bed was just right. One chair was too soft, one was too hard, one was just right. Make sure that yours is just right. So if you have to have a specialist to come and check out to see if you, or go online, Google it, see best chairs, or how to adjust your seating position, your seating when, or your bed, your mattress, that sort of thing, to prevent the muscles from actually acting up, so that you are stronger when you go to do your duties. So positioning, posture, right? Now, practice. Obviously, that takes practice. So practice with your shoulders up and back when you're sitting. Ensure your abdominal muscles are, not tightly wound, but at least you hold your abdominal muscles in, and try to sit upright as much as possible. Never cross your legs. Never cross your legs. That's always a biggie. Don't cross just at the ankles, not the big crossover. It's bad for your circulation, and it's bad for your back. It's bad for your posture. So that's what you can do. What else can you do? Back strengthening exercises. So there are many, but one of the most common, one of the easiest ones you can do, if you have, as long as you have no problems with your knees or your back, or it's not against what your medical advice would be, is to go on your all fours on a mat. Make sure your knees are protected, and opposite arm to leg. One arm is stretched out, and the opposite leg, and the leg opposite is also stretched out, just level with the floor. What does that do? It strengthens the muscles along the spine, and therefore stabilizes you better. So however long the exercise recommended tells you to do it for, that's a excellent back strength, easy, excellent back strengthening, simple back strengthening exercise. So you want to practice your posture, check your positioning, ensure where you're sitting and where you're lying is safe and stable for you. What else can you do? Shoes, footwear. I know ladies, especially who are the prime family caregivers, footwear is a biggie, right? You want to wear the heels. You want to look, professional. You want to feel good. And trust me, I do admit, do feel differently. I do walk differently when I'm in heels from when I'm in flat shoes. And too flat a shoe is also bad for your back, puts a strain. But too high a shoe also tilts you, tilts you as you're trying to balance on these stilettos. And it's not good for your back either. So it's gonna put your muscles into spasm. You have then to come home and use those poor muscles to now help someone, and you're not exercising. Recipe for disaster. So a medium heel is okay. Again, check with your doctor, check with the podiatrist, review someone who you know has knowledge about footwear, and have them assess your footwear. Important, because how else are you going to be walking and doing your caregiving? Even if you can handstand, you can't do that all day long. You certainly can't do it at work. So you have to make sure that your feet are stable. Ensure that You get time. You make time. We've spoken about foot care before. You make time to soak your feet, even if it's just for 5 minutes in something that in a solution that would be calming, warm water, cool water, but and moisturize your feet to make sure that they're healthy. There are no calluses that would kind of make you can ease into the discomfort. And then you have to shift your back, which then puts your muscles, puts your muscles in spasm. So practice from exercise, practice with footwear, practice with your posture. So these are all preventative now when it comes to actually actively having to move the person. There's several YouTube videos, several videos you can find on the correct way to move someone from chair to bed, and especially if you have to do it alone. Ideally not, but this is a reality. There's usually only one family caregiver who's really doing most of the work, and you might just be that person and it's the middle of the night and you have to help them to move. What are you going to do? So make sure that you know how to position, or ask the nurse or the doctor, well, how do I move this person from bed to chair? How do I help them out of the wheelchair? How do I help them to get from point A to point B if they're using a walker? If I'm pushing a wheelchair to get them from A to B. Because at the end of the day, those measures not followed are going to lead you into back pain. And then where's your self care? Where is your quality of life going to go? Down the tubes is where it's going to go. All right, just absorb that for a few minutes. Right. So, learning how to position the person is extremely important so that you're not overly bending and you're not tugging or pulling or straining or stretching. If it is that the person is bigger than you are, there are stages and ways that you can move that person safely as well. So just look it up, ask a question, and there's so many options that just choose the best one for you, but reach out and check and get advice from someone who knows. However, once you are in your task, ensure a device that you can use, which a lot of people do use when they're using weights or lifting heavy weights. Bear in mind that suddenly this person can just fall and their weight on you if they feeling frail, and you are the entire support system. So it might be wise, if you know you have a lot of moving around to do, to yet get a back brace that is fitted for you, custom fitted, ideally, but at least some sort of brace that straps across your lower back, and then the strap comes around your shoulder so it stabilizes you, keeps you straight, so that when you have to do those heavy movements, pulling, bending, lifting, it will at least stabilize you. It won't put a tug on your lower back, especially, or a tug on your neck muscles, which would then kind of, you feel that pain in the center, in the higher up in the back between your shoulder blades, or down the middle and down across the back itself. Not a good idea. The more that happens, the longer it lasts, the less easy it becomes to get to manage your pain or get rid of the pain. So we go from strengthening your muscles, knowing how to position the person, wearing a brace as necessary, and using the right footwear, of course. What is another thing that you can how else can you manage your care now? So we've talked prevention. What about, I won't say cure, but management? Because chronic lower back pain, you look at any studies across the world, is the most, if not one of the most common concern complaint of persons who are in family caregiving, who work long hours, and well, it's basically two jobs, isn't it? It's one of the most common causes for sick leave requests, work leave requests, uh, early leaving from early retirement, work, leaving work sooner than you should, disability requests. You don't want to be in a family caregiving position and you're the one who can't manage. How does that help your quality of life? Where is your self care, your oxygen mask? So, but if you have back pain already, well, let's see how we can manage it. So, three ways. Again, practice, positioning, and posture. They're the same principles, even if you already have back pain, because you don't want to be, unless it is recommended and you um, there's no other option or is the best option. You don't want to be medicating for years for pain relief, because over time that becomes less effective. So you actually want something that's long lasting, that's sustainable, that's actually going to work for you to mitigate, relieve, ease, reduce, or let's say alleviate. Yay, that would be a yay, right? Alleviate the back pain, and so you can carry on your caregiving duties well, and you can continue your self care routine. So again, posture. If you already have pain, ensure that even more so that you get your chairs, your seating, your lying, whatever you sleep in, whatever your favorite chair is, your chair at work. Ensure that they definitely are outfitted, you could say, for you, custom done for you. So, for example, I have at work, I don't have a lot lifting to do, not a lot, but I do have a kind of a disc, because I don't have it here, but a disc that's kind of a um, rubbery. It's kind of jelly like. So when I sit on it, it's active sitting, so it kind of keeps me moving, but stable as well. So that you're not just flat on the surface. You want something that continually kind of exercises the lower back in its own way. So it's a kind of self massage. There's some wonderful chairs that actually do have massaging little buttons and so on. Buttons, is that a word? Little knobs on it that kind of act as a massager, so that when you're sitting in the chair, it kind of soothes your back and keeps the muscles like a nice massage during the day. And when you go to bed, ensure that lying on your stomach is never advised. Please, no, 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 no. That'll make everything worse. Lie on your back, and if you have to lie on your side, use a pillow between your knees. So that's if you already have, that's general, but if you already have back pain, it's even more important. Ensure that your footwear, for sure, heels would not be recommended, ladies. Gents, just ensure, both of you actually, that the soles of your shoes, they're not slippery, they have good grip, they're not worn, they don't have that wear and tear. And if they do, please toss them. Please toss them. And your so posture, practice, positioning. Practice again would be daily exercises. So if you're going to take 5 minutes for yourself, 10 minutes in the day before you start your day, or 10 minutes in the evening before you go in, after you've done your caregiving duties, that you take time to actually, you can self massage with your back, or you can lie on flat on your back on the floor, and just stretch your arms and stretch your legs, and just gently do breaths, and make sure you stay hydrated. Drink your water, and then carry on your day, or then go to bed. So practice posture, positioning, whether it's prevention or whether it's management of chronic lower back pain. In family caregiving, your back is your pillar. The expression "I got your back" is not without merit, because it implies that you're stable, that you're good, that you can manage, you can carry on your duties, you can take care of yourself first. And with that, remember, whatever you do, take care of you first, and everyone else will be taken care of. So this is Dr. Lana signing off. Remember, posture, practice, positioning to prevent lower back pain in your family caregiving. Until next time, bye bye.